Hi, and we're back. And today's our guest is Anja Weinberg. And Anja, thank you so much for coming today. We're so excited to have you here. And please go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us everything.
Thank you so much for having me on, Karina. I guess we need the microphone.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me on, Karina and Nadinia.
Nandini.
And who I am is I am a wellness home consultant. I've worked in the holistic health field for over 29 years. We own a wellness center over in the East Fort Lauderdale area. And my expertise is I love working with individuals and families and wellness practitioners to really create our homes the safe haven we all deserve to have, to really look at the aspects, what makes our home the place where we should thrive. Thank you so much.
So when you say home and what do you mean by thriving at home? Like what kind of offering is that?
Well, you know, many of us are bombarded these days with concerns around the air we breathe, the water we drink, the sleep. So I'm really looking to bring nature-inspired solutions and technologies and strategies back into our homes. So we can eliminate some people call it the body burden. For example, the Environmental Protection Agency talks now about all of us as human beings have in our body currently 700 contaminants that really bog down on our health and well-being. So how do we shift that to more strategic alignment in what does make our home healthier, more health conducive, and overall a better health-inspired environment by the products that we use, the things that should be eliminated out of an everyday environment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know because we're very, right now there's a lot of promotion for covering, I want to say covering up scent. So we have, you know, the free breeze and we have candles, we have, but all of them have their own contaminants and allergens in these, right?
Yes.
And they affect us one way or the other. And just for an example, I one time had problems with my AC, and wasn't working. It was overheating. And when they came, they said, and they showed me the filter, and they said, "Do you light candles in your house?" And I said, "I did." And they said, "Watch the wax that was going into the system," and you know, it was just sitting there. And so I don't do candles anymore unless it's a very organic, natural type of candles, because a lot of them, it's really not good for us, and we sometimes just have it all day in the house.
Yeah, and especially as adults it affects us, but think about if you have a family with children or you have pets, you know, they're much smaller, their body burden becomes much heavier, affecting their health much quicker because the organ function and things. And when I work with clients, especially when somebody already has existing breathing challenges or allergies, I'm very concerned, or we look at the concerns of how does the family or the individual make use of their space, because a lot of these products we think or we led to believe that they make things healthier in the home, because now everything is toxin free or germ free, but the added contaminant that becomes a body burden to us, for example, bleach, it's a carcinogen. We shouldn't be breathing that in. You know, when we clean surfaces, we're there. So there is much more natural-oriented solutions that don't affect our body and the health concerns we might have. And a lot of people still to these days use dryer sheets. That's actually one of the highest contributors to the indoor air pollution in our homes, because it stays in all the rooms, even if you keep it or use it in the laundry room. So I think there is a perception for individuals and families often to using products that we believe are healthy and add to our health, but they quite frankly are not. So really looking at these solutions and maybe substituting some things or replacing them altogether. So it's sometimes about the strategy that we use and being more deliberate with the things that affect our health and well-being. Does that make sense?
So Anja, do you actually have to go to people's house and see what's happening in there, or how do you coach someone?
Yeah. You know what? That's a great question, Karina. Oftentimes people prefer to can we just get started with a questionnaire, and I will do that. We'll look at what are you using now? How much water does your family drink? And I also bring in not only the aesthetics and how things work in the home, but also how is the connection. And really my company Thrive From Home really starts with the thriving from home here first. How do we feel connected with ourselves? And then we'll talk about the family. And sometimes it is, cooking meals together and creating connection, then going out into the environment. How much water intake is there in the family? What kind of foods are being eaten and shared? Are meals cooked together? And we'll really look at the aspects, what can be changed right now with what is already in place. And then also we're looking at how much change does the individual or the family want to make.
Right.
Exactly. We all know how it should be and what serves us best, but it's really much more a matter of how do we implement it in a succinct, strategic, and just get it done kind of a way. For example, I work a lot around water and concerns with water, because people buy bottled water. The concern becomes the plastic, it's not recyclable, or will plastic be recyclable? So we're looking at those things, and maybe there is easier solutions that would serve a family much better.
Right.
So Anja, what prompts somebody to contact you? Do you find like the majority of your clients would have a major issue, say like a child has an allergy, or somebody constantly has a cough, or who is it that would reach out to you for your services?
Great questions. I do love working with fellow wellness practitioners, because they often have clients that have those concerns, where sometimes I can be a great asset to making some changes that can be implemented. How people find me is, like I said, I work with individuals and families, and just from doing talks in the community, I'm very involved with local community and schools, and doing presentations, doing little simple workshops, and sometimes it's just doing workshops where families kind of can learn on their own as well. But yes, I help with all those concerns, and I do work with fellow wellness practitioners as an assistant wellness home consultant as well.
Can you give us an idea of, like when you walk into a home, what is the very first thing that you would do?
Well, I work very intuitively. My backgrounds are actually in culinary arts and also in hospitality management and in interior design. So when I come in the home first, it's really about the feel. The feel for the space, the feel for the people, the pets, the families that live in a space, and then we'll go from there. My favorite is to start in the kitchen and really look what can be implemented there. What is being used for water now? How is the consumption or the preparation of food? How is the air all together? Have you ever walked into a home and immediately you hit kind of like by a scent of, especially here in Florida, that is kind of a damp, moldy kind of experience? That's definitely something that is not health conducive. So we're looking into maybe things can be eliminated. There might be moisture in the air due to not ventilating bathrooms or ventilating the laundry area, things like that.